Time to Tin Chat, boys and girls. Thanks for hanging out with us. Peter Hood, Johnny TinCat. How you doing today, Johnny? He's a quiet guy. He's not quiet. This is Mike Moss, play-by-play voice of the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Mike, I have somehow managed to survive the last few weeks without you. It's been a while since you and I have sat down.
Anybody can survive without me. Just ask my wife of nearly 45 years.
It was difficult. It was a difficult few weeks for me. I wasn't able to sit down and talk Tin Caps baseball with Mike Moss, but we're back. We're better than ever. Unfortunately, the team is not better than ever. They have seen better days. The last couple of weeks have been difficult. Of course, they got off to a phenomenal start post-All-Star break, won 11 of their first 13 games coming out of the All-Star break, or had a stretch where they won 11 of 13. And the last couple of weeks, they've gone 2-10 over their last 12 games. So, Mike, I guess my question is, and just to give our viewers a heads up, they are still in the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today via a tiebreaker, they would be in the playoffs. But they're barely clinging on to that right now, and they're going to have to really work over the next 6 weeks to hold on to that spot. So, Mike, the struggles that they've run into over the last couple of weeks, is it something where it's just a temporary lull in your mind where you think they can get over this? Or are you seeing a pattern that could cause them to continue to struggle through the rest of the season?
The pattern that they're continuing, Peter, is the pattern they've been having all season long. This is a very talented team. It's the youngest team in the Midwest League, one of the youngest, if not the youngest team in all of minor league baseball. Still have 6 18-year-olds on the roster. And with 18 and 19 and even 20-year-olds, you're going to have growing pains. It's just like parents watching their kids grow up, and they're going to see that the kids make mistakes now and then, and you try to be corrective. And that's the way Anthony Contreras and Bert Hooten and the rest of the coaching staff, I think, are feeling somewhat. Great nucleus of guys. The team is not hitting well. The team is not playing defense very well. A couple of nights ago, in Game 1 of the 3-game series with Burlington, at least through the original 9 innings, there were 3 errors. Now, one of those was changed eventually to 2 errors, but Gabriel Arias, and we've talked on the radio side all year long, he's got one of the strongest arms in the organization, the shortstop, and yet he committed initially 3 errors, and it was changed to 2, and he's not the only one. But you're not going to find a Fernando Tatis Jr. every year on your roster. And so we all have to be patient. We all have to realize there's going to be some ups and some downs. We all have to realize this is still a developmental stage in all these players' careers. And, you know, bite the bullet, bite the tongue, bite something, but hang in there, because there are going to be some good days ahead.
You might have answered it right there. You said good days ahead. You're not too concerned. I mean, your level of concern is minimal at this point, even though they have struggled over the last. I mean, Burlington coming into this series was 5-19 in the second half, and they've won the first 2 games. Tin Caps haven't looked great in them, but still, you're not overly concerned at this point with 6 weeks left to go in the season.
No, just over 6 weeks left. I believe counting tonight, 42 games on the regular season docket. And yeah, we are seeing improvement. Now, the improvement of this year's team is not as great and moving at the same pace as last year's team. And that's why I said a moment ago, it's not fair to compare these 2 teams. There are a lot of similarities, but they are 2 different teams. And this team is going to grow and learn at its own pace. And we have to realize that. Now, I know AC would love to jumpstart this team somehow. I don't know. You can only do so many things. But as Anthony has said on a number of occasions, he's not a player anymore.
Yeah.
Bert Hooten, with his great pitching career, he's not an active pitcher anymore. It's the players themselves that have got to make the total commitment, become totally focused, prepare themselves for the ups and downs. There are going to be some good times. There are going to be some bad times. Learn from the mistakes and roll with it and go to it and let their natural talent and ability take over. And most importantly, Peter, and I'm not sure that's happening right now when you've lost 10 of your last 12, this team needs to have fun.
So tonight, weather permitting, we pre-record this, if you can't tell. It's 10 o'clock when you're watching this, and it's light outside. So we don't know if they're going to play tonight on this Friday night against Burlington. The forecast doesn't look great for the whole weekend, but supposed to finish out the series against Burlington tonight. And then, Mike, walk us through what the next week or so looks like for the Tin Caps.
Well, after the game tonight, and hopefully it will have been played by the time our viewers are seeing this, the Clinton Lumber Kings come to town for a 3-game series tomorrow night, Sunday afternoon, and Monday night. 3 games at home. Then there'll be an off day next Tuesday, the 3rd and final consecutive Tuesday where the league has been off. And then Fort Wayne will go back on the road. But they'll be all done with East versus West. So the games, I like to say, they'll become doubly important because you're going head-to-head against the teams you got to beat to make it to the postseason. And starting next Wednesday, they'll be in Dayton, Ohio, next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for a 3-game series with the Dragons. And then from Dayton, they'll make what is a 4.5-hour bus ride to Bowling Green for their final series of the year with the Hot Rods, who won the first half Eastern Division title, are in first place in the second half, even though in some ways you don't count them because they're already in the playoffs. So it's going to be a tough 7-game road trip after these 3 games with Clinton. Those are very important games, as I said, counting tonight, just 42 games left in the regular season. So it's time that the rubber has to hit the road, the pedal has to stay, the metal has to stay on the pedal, and the Tin Caps are finally going to have to do what everyone thinks they can do, play exciting and winning baseball.
I'm curious. So the Bees are in town right now.
Yep.
Then the Lumber Kings come to town. We recently saw the Tin Caps play the Colonels. There's a lot of interesting nicknames in minor league baseball for teams. Outside of the Tin Caps, obviously we're biased there. Do you have a favorite nickname in the Midwest League, one that rolls off the tongue more than the others for you?
You know, I've never really thought about it, Peter, in all the years that the Tin Caps and before that the Wizards have been in town. Stop for a quick moment. The Dayton Dragons. The South Bend Cubs used to be the South Bend Silverhawks, used to be the South Bend White Sox back in the day. Beloit, before they were the Snappers, they were the Brewers. The Cedar Rapids Colonels, they're semi-related to the Fort Wayne Comets in that instead of using the letter C, they use the letter K for their nickname. Clinton Lumber Kings, Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
I like that one.
I don't know if there's one particular favorite. You know, the Great Lakes Loons, West Michigan Whitecaps, Bowling Green Hot Rods. They're all great names. But as you said, I like the Tin Caps. It can be a 15-way tie for the second best team nickname in the Midwest League, but I'll stay with the Tin Caps as number 1.
I'll agree with you on that. And best mascot in the league, right here. You agree, Johnny?
He's got laryngitis. The email that he's got laryngitis and can't talk much today.
He's kind of shaking his head. It's like he's agreeing. He's in agreement. Mike, it's been fun as always. It's about to rain, so we'll get out of here, and hopefully they get this game in tonight, but we'll see you back here next week.
Nice to have you back in town. Now Justin filled in for you last week, and while you were playing hooky down in Indianapolis, and the time prior to that, you were on vacation in some crazy place called Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but good to have you back, and now you can concentrate on baseball for the next 6.5 weeks. Forget about this other sport called high school football coming up, but good to have you back, and look forward to chatting with you again 1 week from today.
Yeah, and ready for the stretch run. Ready for the stretch run. All right, he's Mike Maz. I'm Peter Hood. That'll do it for another edition of TinChattin. Much more coming up in the locker room right after this break.